Hey mamas, Alexandria here, 35-year-old toddler mom, therapist, and gym rat. I lost nearly 40 pounds postpartum and it changed my life. So my goal now is to help other mamas and other women to be the best version of themselves and to reach their goals. So today we are going to talk about some fit mom myths. These are 6 weight loss and fitness misconceptions. Number 4, y'all, especially if you are a millennial, number 4 is going to speak to you because I know for me, this was definitely something that was preached to me in the 90s. So, if you guys are ready, let's go. One of the most common reasons that people don't lose weight is because of misconceptions and misgivings that are in the media. And the beauty of the internet is that there's a lot of great resource out there. But the downside is there's a lot of stuff that's crap and that's wrong. And the ones that we're going to talk about today, these are biggies for me, but I want to hear from you guys what other ones that you've heard and that maybe you've learned are incorrect so that we can learn from each other. Number 1, the time of day you eat matters. Now, if you've watched some of my content, you're probably like, well, wait a minute, you talk about eating breakfast. Yes, I do. And the reason I talk about eating breakfast has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that it's the time of day. The time of day doesn't really matter because your body doesn't really have a full understanding of the difference between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. or 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. The thing that makes 10 a.m. different from 10 p.m. is that at 10 p.m. you've made like thousands upon thousands of decisions, and so your brain is tired and no longer feels like having a debate with you about having that piece of cake. Whereas 10 a.m. you has only made a handful of decisions, or maybe several hundreds, depending on what time your toddler wakes up. And so at that point, you can more easily convince yourself not to do something, like eat a piece of cake. So the time of day you eat really doesn't matter so much as making sure that you're living within your calorie goals. And the way that you do that is by just managing what you're eating. If you know that you're always hungry at 10 p.m., I'm not awake at 10 p.m., but if you're awake at 10 p.m., right on. But if you're awake at 10 p.m. and you know that you always want something, go ahead and work that into your calorie budget for the day. Accommodate however many calories you think you're going to need for some, I don't know, some cottage cheese or a protein shake or whatever your desired snack of choice is. Because at 10 p.m., you are much more likely to open that fridge and go, ooh, how about some cheese with a side of pickle? You know, like that's just how our brains work, and decision fatigue is the reason for that. So it doesn't matter what time you eat. It matters if you're living within a certain calorie goals and if you're blowing out your budget at 10 p.m. as opposed to 10 a.m. Number 2, being fit and healthy is a huge time commitment. I hear this one all the time. But how do you have time to work out or X, Y, and Z? But how do you have time to X? But how do you have time to Y? And fortunately, or unfortunately, I guess depending upon the way you want to look at it, losing weight and living a healthy lifestyle is not a big time commitment. It's actually just an excuse that we use. And it sucks because I know that there are a lot of busy people. And it's okay to be busy, but you have to decide what your priorities are. And for me, before I lost the weight, that just wasn't a priority for me. I was more interested in doing other things than I was making my health and fitness part of my priority, part of my lifestyle. Being healthy and living a fit lifestyle doesn't have to be time consuming. You can utilize, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day. Any bit that you do is going to help you get closer to your goals. The problem is that it's going to take longer to see the results that way. And there's also a higher probability that you're going to taper off because you're not seeing the results as quickly as you want to when you don't get invested in the process. But once you decide that your health matters to you, to your family, and all of that, when you decide to make it a priority, it doesn't become a huge time commitment. It just becomes part of who you are. It becomes part of your mentality. It becomes part of your whole process. And that's just the person that you become. And so it doesn't require a huge time commitment. On the front end, you have to make some decisions, but it doesn't have to be a huge time commitment. You get to decide how much time you dedicate and how much time you're willing to dedicate to the process. Number 3, this one makes me laugh because all the time I'm hearing people say things like, you must always be motivated. Like, y'all, look, I am not always motivated. The difference between people who are fit is not about motivation, it's about consistency and discipline. because I guarantee you there are plenty of days that I am not motivated to get up and work out. And I think more often than not, when I'm on Instagram, I'm like, hey, y'all, I don't feel like working out today. Because it's true, we're not always motivated. Motivation is an emotion, it's an experience. Discipline is what trumps motivation, and it's always going to trump motivation. I am disciplined in my workout routine. My body and my mind expect me to do these things now, and because of that, because I've given myself the time to build up these habits, it gets me to where I'm going without the need for motivation to be there, like hand in hand with me. Does that make sense? Like sometimes I just need a kick in the butt or some music or a cute outfit. That will sort of like serve as my motivation. Sometimes it's an additional cup of coffee. Although I've officially hit the season of decaf coffee appreciation. Who is decaf coffee appreciation years old? I know I'm not the only person that's decaf coffee appreciation years old. I could not understand it as a younger person, although I did not realize how much caffeine I really needed. Anyway, we're not here to talk about how old I am. My point is, though, that it doesn't mean that I'm always motivated. It just means that I have discipline with what I'm doing, and that took time to get here. It didn't happen overnight, and in the meantime, I made myself do it. I made myself get out of bed. I made myself, use nap time to work out until I built up those habits. And you can do it. Here we are at number 4. Skipping meals is a good strategy for weight loss. No. Louder for the people in the back. I know the millennials heard this one. This was like preached to us as millennials. So skipping meals is not an effective strategy for weight loss because what it actually does to your body is it puts your body into survival mode. And then when you're going to eat your next meal or when you're going to actually have a meal, you're more likely to eat more food than you would have before. So you're not saving yourself any calories. You're limiting the calories on the front end, but then gaining it back on the back end. And the other thing that it does is it puts your body into survival mode, which means that you're producing cortisol, which in fact causes you to gain weight or keep the weight on because your body's like, oh crap, when am I going to have my next meal? I need to make sure I save this because I need fuel for my body, because that's what food is. And so then it gets mad at you. Not really mad at you, but then it produces that cortisol level because of the stress that's in the body. And then you're in fact not helping yourself to lose weight. You're hungry and also potentially not only not losing weight, but gaining weight too. Sorry. Myth number 5. If you're trying to lose weight, listen. If you are loving this kind of content, if you want more myths, misconceptions, mistakes, all of it, and you want non-judgy mom friends, I would love if you would subscribe and say hello in the comments. I want to talk to you. I want to be your friend. I want to be part of your community. So please come and say hi and introduce yourself and help us get to know you and help me to know how I can better help you reach your goals, because that really is the only point of this YouTube channel, is to help other moms reach their goals. And so if there's something that I can do or content that I can create for you to make that happen, I want to hear from you in the comments. So subscribe. You can't have any fast food. Okay, well, anybody that tells you anything about you can't have X, it doesn't matter what it is. Fast food, burgers, coffee, pasta, whatever, you name it. It's all a myth because you can eat whatever you want, and you should eat whatever you want within moderation. Because by restricting and limiting yourself, you're mentally making something more interesting and more exciting than it was before. The cake that you could eat if you felt like eating it or if it fit within your macros is much less enticing than the piece of cake that you can't have because it's too many calories. It's much, much, much more tempting than it would have been if you'd have just said, yeah, I could have that if I wanted it, or if I could make it work in my macros today. Because psychologically, that's what you're setting yourself up to do when you restrict or you tell yourself you can't have any things. And in order to maintain a healthy lifestyle, you have to be able to find the balance of things that you want versus the things that you need for your body and to fuel your body. Now, granted, when you go out to eat, it is more difficult, especially if you're going to do multiple meals a day of eating fast food. You're either A, probably going to blow out your calorie budget, or B, you're going to end up being hungry, because if you live in a calorie budget, when you go to eat those 3 meals, you're not likely to be as full as you would be if you were going to eat some more like nutrient dense food or like whole foods that you could eat at home or that you could make at home. But Chipotle is a terrific example of this. This is one of our go-to meals. My husband and I eat Chipotle probably, I don't know, a couple of times a week because it's perfect for getting enough protein in our diet. The chicken bowls that even have a high protein bowl, those are the like protein rich foods, and you can get those from Chipotle. I mean, theoretically you could make something like that at home yourself, I'm sure, but we get protein bowls from Chipotle several times a week because it's the perfect way to fit into our protein and macro goal. So you don't have to cut out fast food. You really shouldn't cut out any food. It's really just about finding the balance and setting yourself up not only to meet your nutrition goals, but also to balance that with your calorie goals. Number 6. Counting calories is the only thing that matters, and it's going to be the only thing that helps you to lose weight. And that's just not true. I mean, these are misconceptions after all, but that's just not true. It's not just about calories in, calories out. Calories are much more complex than a calorie this is a calorie that. Calories from a banana are not going to be the same as calories from a cookie. Bananas are nutrient dense, but a cookie is calorie dense, and it's going to be processed through your body quickly, and then it's going to make you want more sugar. Whereas the banana is actually going to give you those vitamins and minerals that your body needs to function. So it's not just about, oh, well, I need 1,500 calories, so let me just make sure I'm just eating 1,500 calories. You need to make sure that you're getting adequate nutrition, and by eating whole foods, you set yourself up for the better potential to be eating within all of the food groups and vitamins and minerals and all the things that your body needs. So no, 1,200 calories is not just 1,200 calories, because 1,200 calories of just random stuff thrown together is probably going to leave you hungry and have you losing muscle and probably make you tired. Whereas 1,200 calories, and this is just a number that I'm making up, I'm not telling you to eat 1,200 calories, let me just be clear. And 1,200 calories of nutrient-dense food is actually going to help you to grow and build muscle, because you can build muscle even in a deficit. It just looks a little bit different than if you're like in a bulking phase. So hopefully that'll make sense. So I would love to know what misconceptions or myths that you have heard that you found out, oh crap, that wasn't true. I want to hear from you in the comment section below. And YouTube should be recommending something else they think that you will love, and I hope you love it too. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.